I have worked as a security guard for many years. I never thought my job at Costco would change my life. It all started one quiet night when I noticed little things that did not fit the usual routine. I was working the graveyard shift, the only one on duty, and the store was mostly empty. The hum of the refrigerators and the quiet footsteps of the night cleaners were the only sounds I expected. But that night, something was off. At first, I saw nothing more than small details that did not add up. A delivery truck came in at a strange hour. The driver was quiet and looked over his shoulder as if he feared being seen. I did not say much, thinking maybe he was just tired or nervous. But then, I saw that backroom door that was always locked. It was left open, and the air felt colder than it should be. I walked over and found some scattered receipts and packaging from a product that I had never seen on our shelves. My heart started to beat faster as I put the pieces together. The next few nights were even stranger. I began to hear low, muffled sounds coming from the storage rooms. It was not the sound of the usual cleaning crew, but a soft rustle that could be footsteps or even whispers. I watched the security screens closely, and one night I saw a shadow move slowly near the far end of the storage area. The figure was hard to see, like a person hiding in a dark corner. I felt a chill run down my spine. I told myself it was just my eyes playing tricks in the dark. Then, rumors began to spread among the other night staff. They talked in hushed voices about an off-the-book shipment. The rumors said that counterfeit electronics were being delivered secretly. I did not believe it at first, but the more I saw the inconsistencies, the more I wondered if there was something bigger going on. I started to review the old security footage. The screens were grainy, but I could see figures moving around near areas that should have been empty. Every time I paused the tape, I felt like I was watching someone hide, waiting for a chance to do something they should not. One night, I found a log that did not match what was in the inventory. The log had been altered, with numbers that made no sense. I knew the system well, and I could tell that someone had come in and changed things. I wrote down everything in a small notebook that I kept hidden. I did not know who to trust. I was scared, but I felt I had to find out the truth. I decided to ask my manager about the strange events. I waited until the end of my shift and went into his small, cluttered office. He looked at me with a serious face, and his eyes grew dark as he spoke. "Some things are better left alone, Marcus," he said in a low voice. He told me to stop looking into it and to forget what I had seen. I left the office with more questions than answers. His words made me feel trapped in a place I once trusted. For days, I continued to watch the monitors, and every time I saw a glimpse of movement, my body would tense up. I became a prisoner of my own fear. Late one night, while checking the footage again, I saw something I cannot forget. In one frame, I saw a person standing in the dark near the packaging room. Their eyes were not clear, and their face was hidden by shadows. But I could feel their gaze right through me. I sat frozen for what felt like hours, unable to move or call for help. After that night, I felt more alone than ever. I still worked the night shift, but I now double-check every door and every log. I do not know if I am imagining things, or if there is really someone there. Every delivery truck, every shadow on the screen, makes me wonder if I am being watched. I write down my notes in the hope that one day I will find a clear answer. I know I should not have dug so deep, but I could not stop myself. Now, as I sit here and write this, I feel a lingering chill. I still have that notebook with my scribbled notes, and sometimes I wonder if I should burn it. I do not know if I will ever learn the full truth about that night, or if the strange things will ever stop. The once safe walls of Costco have become a place of dark secrets and hidden figures. I live in constant fear that one day I might see something I cannot explain. A face in the dark, a sound I cannot ignore, or even the truth that someone would kill to keep these secrets hidden. I can only hope that if you ever find yourself working alone in a big place, you keep your eyes open and your mind alert. Some things, once seen, are hard to forget. I work part-time at Costco. I never thought a normal day could turn strange. It was a usual afternoon when I was stocking shelves, and that is when I saw something odd in the parking lot. There, near the store entrance, I found a shopping cart that did not belong to any customer. It sat alone, abandoned, with no sign of any name or details. A chill ran down my spine, but I did not think much of it at first. The cart was filled with scattered items that seemed out of place. I saw high-end electronics, bottles of expensive wine, and even a thick envelope sealed with a strange foreign insignia. The items were spread around as if someone had dropped them in a hurry. I asked a few colleagues if they had seen the cart before, but they only looked away and said nothing. I began to feel uneasy, and a strange gut feeling told me that something was wrong. Later that day, I overheard quiet whispers among some employees. They talked about a security guard who had seen the cart move on its own. They said the cart had been seen roaming the parking lot for nearly an hour, and that it disappeared into a side entrance that I had never noticed before. My fear grew, and I decided to keep my eyes open. Over the next few days, small, odd things began to happen. I heard strange noises coming from the back of the store and noticed shadows that did not belong. Every time I passed the side entrance, I felt as if someone was watching me. I kept my thoughts to myself, afraid that others would think I was crazy, but I could not shake the feeling that there was more to the cart than met the eye. I spent my free time checking the store's maintenance logs. I found a series of late-night transactions that were not logged properly. The records did not match the usual store entries. I wrote down every detail in my small notebook, hoping that one day I would understand what was going on. The more I looked, the more I felt like I was in danger, but I could not stop trying to find the truth. One late afternoon, when the store was almost empty, I decided to follow the trail. I quietly left my post and walked toward the side entrance. The door was slightly open and I pushed it slowly. Inside, the room was dark with only a few flickering lights. I saw boxes and items that did not belong in the normal store setup. Knew then that I had found something big. Suddenly, I heard a soft noise behind me. I spun around and saw a dark figure slip behind a stack of boxes. My heart pounded, and I felt frozen with fear. I stood still, trying to convince myself that it was just my imagination. But the sound came again, and I knew someone was really there. I slowly backed away, trying not to make a sound. I rushed outside and shut the door behind me. My hands were shaking, and cold sweat covered my skin. That night, I could not sleep. I kept thinking about the abandoned cart, the strange items, and that shadowy figure. I felt trapped between fear and the need to know the truth. I later told a security guard what I had seen, but he just shrugged and said some things are best left alone. His serious eyes told me he knew more than he was saying. I felt more alone and scared than ever before. I kept writing in my notebook, and the details grew even more confusing. There were hints of secret deals and hidden exchanges that I could hardly believe. Now, every time I see a shopping cart in the parking lot, or hear a strange noise in the dark, I remember that day. I wonder about the secret behind that cart and the deals that took place out of sight. I know I may never learn all the answers, and some things remain unexplained. Sometimes when I work alone, I still feel that cold presence watching me. I live with that fear every day, and I know that some secrets are better left unsaid. I still get chills when I think back to that day. Every quiet moment at work brings back memories of the cart, the hushed whispers, and that fleeting dark figure. I keep wondering if the truth is hidden in plain sight, locked away in secrets no one dares unlock. The mystery remains with me always, forever. I have worked at Costco for many years, and I never thought my job would turn into something so strange. My name is Jamal, and I've been an associate for over a decade. One quiet afternoon, while I was restocking shelves as usual, I noticed something odd in the stockroom. In a corner behind rows of boxes, I saw a sealed door. It was not like the others. This door had only a date and a series of numbers carved into its metal frame. I had never seen it before, and my heart started to pound as I looked at it. First, I thought it must be part of a closed-off area for storage, but something about it felt out of place. I decided to check the area later when there were fewer people around. That night, when the store was nearly empty, I went back to the stockroom. The door was still there, silent and still locked. I felt a mix of fear and curiosity. I knew I should not be there, but I had to know what was behind it. I found a loose screw near the door and used it to nudge the latch open. With a soft creak, the door opened to reveal a narrow room filled with rows of unmarked crates and dusty files. I walked in slowly, my footsteps echoing in the small space. The air was cold and stale, and I felt as if I had stepped into a secret part of the store that no one was meant to see. I began to look through the crates, and I found things that made my stomach churn. In one crate, I found a collection of personal documents and old photographs. They showed employees I had worked with, and I recognized some faces from the front store. The photos looked like they were taken without anyone knowing, and the documents detailed names, times, and dates. It was clear that someone had been watching us, tracking our movements. I felt a chill run down my spine as I realized that our privacy might have been invaded. I kept looking, and I soon found files that talked about shipments and transfers. The records did not match what I knew of our deliveries. There were strange numbers and dates that made no sense. It seemed like there were extra deliveries and items that were not recorded in the official logs. I took out my phone and began to record small notes and snap a few pictures of the documents. I felt like I was uncovering a hidden secret that was never meant to be seen. Over the next few days, I kept thinking about what I had found. I felt uneasy every time I walked past the stockroom. I began to notice little things that I had not seen before. A door would be left open when it should have been closed, and I would catch a glimpse of a shadow in the corner of my eye. I even heard a soft humming sound when the store was very quiet. I asked a few trusted colleagues if they had seen anything odd, but they just shook their heads and said they did not notice anything out of the ordinary. The feeling of being watched grew stronger with each day. I started to check the area whenever I had a spare moment. Late one night, while the store was nearly empty, I saw a man in a dark jacket slip into the back of the stockroom. I could not see his face, but I felt his eyes on me. My heart raced, and I quickly returned to my duties, pretending nothing had happened. Yet, the memory of that moment stayed with me, making every shift feel like a threat. I decided to take my findings to a trusted supervisor. I showed him the pictures and told him about the sealed door, the files, and the extra shipments. He listened quietly and then warned me in a low voice. "Some things are best left alone, Jamal. You do not know all the forces at work here." His words scared me even more. I felt trapped between the need to know the truth and the fear of what might happen if I dug too deep. Now, I work each day with the memory of that hidden room in my mind. I still see that sealed door when I pass by the stockroom, and I cannot shake the feeling that someone is always watching me. I sometimes wonder if I should have stayed away from it all. The secret files and odd shipments still haunt me. I know I may never learn the full truth about what goes on behind that door. The more I try to understand, the deeper I feel pulled into a web of secrets that may be too dangerous to untangle. I am left with many unanswered questions. Who made those records? Why were employees monitored without their knowledge? And what does the date and numbers on that door mean? I keep my evidence hidden away and live each day in fear that one day I might see more than I ever wanted to know. My life at Costco will never be the same.